Hey Puff, it's Jay. Figured I'd give you a brief overview here to help you understand the switch and exactly how it works. I'm going to use my V3 as an example, and then I actually drew some stuff out for another example, so hopefully this helps. If not, let me know. I mean, I can always explain it again. So here we go. So here is your basic setup, alright? What you have in the center here is your battery. Now you have your negative and your positive side to your battery. Now basically all you have to do is make contact with the negative to the shell of your atomizer and the positive to your center post. And what that is here is my atomizer. Let's see if I can get a good view here. But in the center there's a center post with an insulator around it so it doesn't make contact with anything else except for one side of the element for the heater. And on the outside shell is like a negative, or the frame of your car, something similar to that. So you have to do, your positive must make contact with your center post in there, and your negative has to make contact with your outer shell. Now, with the switching mechanism, all you really have to do is break either the negative side or the positive side. Now, the way you do that is with a normally open switch. And all a normally open switch does is it keeps power from getting from this side to that side. So if this, say, this was either your center post or your shell to your atomizer. Here, hold on a minute. Piece of paper's moving on me here. Alright. So we'll just say that that's the center of your atomizer. I know, nice picture, I like it. In order to get power to that center post, you have to push this switch down and it has to make contact on these 2 points. It's called a normally open switch, which means unless that switch is pressed, then the power cannot travel. So what a basic setup is if you want to, I use the negative as an example here, but you come off the battery, come up, you have a broken circuit, so now there's no way for that power to energize this because there's no ground. Yeah, the positive's there, but it can't do anything until you add your ground there, which turns your element inside here, your heating element, on by allowing power to flow through it, and the resistance causes heat, which vaporizes your liquid. Now, this is the basic way all batteries work. Now, in my V3, where is it? The beautiful device right here. I got the back off my switching mechanism. Now you have a spring in here that's solely to keep tension on my batteries to keep them from coming out. And what they've done here is rather ingenious. Is they have the switch. Now I'm gonna put the camera down and try to show you this. Their switch here is ingenious. They found a way to lock their switch so it won't accidentally press. And you have to unscrew this, and unscrewing this now gives you this gap. Now this gap is just to make contact. Your normally open switch that I was telling you about where you break your power is actually right here. This gap is your power. This transfers power from this button to this unit by pressing it. Now to keep them from pressing it, they threaded the center post so that this screw right here goes in and let's do this here. Yeah, this center screw here actually slides, pushes forward, makes contact with the battery. In turn, power goes up this screw, hits this top plate, energizes this outer ring right here, the separate ring, their open switch, energizes that ring, which in turn energizes the shell. This whole shell actually becomes part of the circuit. It is your negative or your ground. And it energizes that, comes around, and here's your threads. The edge of this hits your threads on your atomizer, which then gives you your negative. And then that post, which goes directly to my battery, is my positive. So what they're doing is they're switching the negative instead of the positive, which you can do it either way, it doesn't matter. So when I screw this in, there's no way to conduct electricity to these threads unless this button makes contact like that. If it doesn't make contact, your switch is not live, and then this gap gets pressed together, creating contact. So when I push this in, my screw head here hits the negative side of my battery, energizing the screw, and then energizes this shell right here, because the screw is actually screwed into it. And then when I touch that, it energizes the outer shell of my cigarette. Now, their ingenious thing is they use this piece as a blocker for this middle thread. So what you do is, this is a two-piece module, is when you go like this, it creates tension against the center post. So now this center post can no longer push that into the battery, and that's how they lock off their circuit. So hopefully that this helped you a little bit. I enjoyed doing the video for you. If you have any more questions, maybe need a little more detail, if anything seemed a little iffy, let me know. I'm more than happy to help. So, hey, have fun, Puff.